You serious?
So yeah, this is How to Kill an Hour. Marcus Bronzy here, flying solo. Well, not really actually solo. But first I want to say there's plenty of ways to kill some time out there. Thank you for killing some time with us. And we are a gadget show, in essence. Technically, that's what we are. We digress a lot. But other times, like in shows like this, we stay a bit closer to where our base is. And right now, I'm happy to say that we got a Mr. James Trew on the phone. How you doing, sir? Can I call you James, or should I call you Mr. Trew?
You can call me whatever you want, but James works. That's pretty good.
All right, cool, James. Now, we came across quite a bit of your writing online, actually, specifically. Who'd you write for?
I work for Engadget, so I don't know how much you know about us, if you're a regular reader or whether you just came across us. But yeah, we're pretty much a pure tech site.
Yeah. And how would you describe Engadget's what makes Engadget different?
So, I mean, for a long time, we were kind of one of those hardcore tech blogs. But in the last couple of years, we're trying to sort of culture it up a bit, I guess, and so instead of just talking about phones and what they do, like how are we using them and where they kind of meet in your everyday life, make it a little bit more lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah. And I personally find them quite easy to read. And would I be lying if I said we didn't use some Engadget stories to fuel some of the stuff we talk about on the show? Yeah, I would. Yeah, man. So it's it's
good content. To hear.
Yeah, great. But so you're originally a Bristol lad, though, right? Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I shook the accent off, but I'm definitely from the West Country, and then I lived in London for a bit. But I'm out in the Bay Area right now.
So how did you end up in the Bay?
Well, we got two offices. Well, I don't want to go too deep into it. We got office in New York, we got office in San Francisco, and we got a crew out in Europe spread around. And I was running that show in Europe for a bit, and then they were like, "Do you want to come over to San Francisco?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I do."
Yeah, I bet the weather's a lot nicer than it is right now here in the UK.
Yeah. Well, it's been raining a lot, actually. Everyone's telling me how good the weather's meant to be, but it's been raining a whole ton. But today it's pretty good.
Oh, cool. And what is it you're doing with Engadget over in San Francisco?
So similar sort of deal. Like our main sort of editorial crew is based out here, and this is like the sort of headquarters, if you like. So I've kind of, just been sort of moved over so I can sort of help behind the scenes a little bit more.
Nice. Behind the scenes sounds very elusive.
Right. It's not.
It's not. Fair enough. So what's the tech scene saying in San Francisco at the moment? What's it like?
I mean, it's obviously here's a bit of a hub. You've got your Googles, your Facebook, Apple, they're all over here. But right now, this time of year, we've just come out of CES, which is, I don't know if you know it, it's kind of like the big show. It's like the Oscars for tech. So That was just in January, when we get to see everything that's going to come out the rest of this year. It's sort of the usual candidates, really. A lot of virtual reality, a lot of drones. So artificial intelligence, these seem to be the big things that are happening right now.
Yes, artificial intelligence. I do want to ask you about what you think is going to be big in 2017. But as somebody who you ingest a lot of tech stuff and gadgets, what was really big in 2016? What do you think was one of the big breakthrough things?
I've got to say VR, really, because I know it's been going for a couple of years, and you've talked about it a lot before with Oculus Rift and Vive and stuff. But I think with PlayStation sort of entering that market, I think it's the first time we've seen it sort of in a really commercial product and something that a lot of people are going to use. So I think for me, 2016 was really about VR, which is kind of exciting, because I think it's just getting to the point where it's going to be like usable for everyone, right? You don't need a crazy PC. You can buy a kit for your PS4 now, and boom, you're in the game.
Yeah, it feels like it's slowly becoming more and more affordable. Like I feel like the boundary in terms of price is kind of becoming a bit more accessible for all, and hopefully that will mean that VR really, really takes off. I mean, what's your take on sort of the AR side of things then, augmented reality?
So I actually think this is more interesting. It's because VR, you're in it and you kind of, you're immersed in it, and that seems like the dream, right? You want to be in the game. Yeah. But there's obviously, you're kind of limited because you've got to stay in like your bloody bedroom, right? Or hang out there. Whereas I think with augmented reality, it brings it out into the real world, and I think that's actually kind of more exciting in a way. I think once the tech's a bit more established, will be like, once you can get these glasses that you can just wear in the street, the whole world's a game, right? And if you're into fitness, you can go running with zombies, or like it just gets a bit. I think that's got a bit more real world potential.
Yeah, I mean, Google had a go at AR, didn't they? And let's be honest, it didn't work so well. Google are quite open with it. Do you think you mentioned glasses? Do you think that maybe that could be another direction that everyone could try to go in again and maybe get it right this time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Microsoft deserve a bit of a shout out because, everyone was sort of looking at VR and Microsoft went with HoloLens, which is, you've probably seen it. So they're pretty goofy looking goggles right now, but they're a company with a bit of wallop, and they're sort of putting money into it. And I think once they've kind of cracked it, you're going to see a lot more people getting on board with that, and it's going to become a bit more accessible. And like I say, you can sort of go out in the street and it becomes suitable for a wearable, whereas virtual reality is never really going to be like that. So I actually think, there's a good future for it once they kind of get it smaller and cheaper.
Wicked. And you also mentioned fitness tech as well. Now, are you quite into your fitness tech?
Yeah, so I used to do a lot of running. So I kind of went through all those like running watches and wearables and stuff like that. And they were sort of fun for a bit. There's none of them that really clicked. I don't know, what about yourself? How active are you?
I'm pretty active. I work out every day, whether it's a home workout with some press ups and a brisk walk, or I'm in the gym sort of thing. And I use apps to kind of keep an eye on like I'm not militant. I'm not like I've done that many steps, but I like sort of use an app to make sure that I've run or walked a certain distance, or I don't eat too much because I love food.
Right. Yeah, they're sort of lifestyle curators, aren't they? Because it's like I say, everyone sort of gets excited about these 10,000 steps, but really I just want to know how lazy I've been today, and if I got something that can tell me, look, man, you need to get off that chair. That's kind of what I want. But you say you're doing press ups, stuff like this. So are you using any wearables technology to monitor that stuff?
I'm genuinely not using any wearables to measure anything that is to do with lifting weights or my own sort of body weight and stuff. I'm not using any wearables. I mean, what can you recommend anything to me? Yeah,
because I was just thinking there's a thing called Atlas Wearables is the website. And so what these guys have done, they're saying like, running's kind of taken care of and all the steps and all this sort of stuff. But what this thing does, it's got like the accelerometer in it or whatever, and they've trained it so it knows when you're lifting. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of, you just turn it on and you go to the gym, do your workout, and you don't have to write down in a little notebook, I did 20 push-ups or whatever. It just recognizes that and logs it straight away.
Cool.
And it does a whole bunch of things. If you're squatting, it'll know it. You kind of have to give it a little bit of guidance, but you just tell it new exercise and then it'll spot it, and it kind of picks it up automatically.
Wicked. Well, we're not shy to try out new things on the show, so I might have to give that a little crack, man. It sounds like you're well up on your fitness tech as well. Is it true
a
though?
Little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Is it true though that are you into your DJing as well, into music and that as well?
Yeah, I've done. I mean, that's where I came from. Before I started writing about these like everyday gadgets, I used to work for sort of DJ magazines and music production magazines, and that's why I got into my gadgets from there. When all the sort of MIDI controllers and that sort of thing. So that's kind of where I started from, definitely.
Okay, what sort of stuff do you DJ?
Well, you don't want to know. I'm a sort of raver from back in the day, so I liked all the sort of drum and bass and early hardcore and stuff like that. And I kind of like really noisy rave music that no one else likes.
I was going to say, do you still get to play out once in a while, or would you just have to strictly keep it to the car and in your house?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. My better half doesn't like it too much because she gets all the hardcore sort of banging out. But my sort of club DJing days might be over. But I still like to tinker, with the gear.
That's wicked. What sort of kit you got at the moment?
So at the moment, because I moved over here, I had to leave all my stuff, most of my stuff back in Europe. But so I'm just running like a laptop, and I've got Ableton Push. I don't know if you've ever had to go on one of those.
Yes, it's a MIDI controller, right? But yeah, please describe more in case the listener isn't across that.
Yeah, sure. So Ableton is, one of the sort of best music production software programs you can get out there, but it's kind of just software. So what they developed was this Push, and it's kind of like a real world physical version of that. So all the buttons connect directly to everything within Ableton. So other MIDI controllers, you kind of have to program them, like when I push this, make a bass wobble or whatever, right? Whereas Ableton is just, it's matched one-to-one. It's kind of seamless integration, so it's kind of like a physical version of that. So I'm just keeping it lo-fi, just running Push 2 and Ableton.
Cool. I mean, do you know what I like about you, James, already, is that you're kind of like, whenever I tell somebody I'm speaking to somebody who works in gadgets and tech, or even when I tell people about what How to Kill an Hour is about, they kind of have this presumption that we're all going to be like, it has to be super hi-fi. But I kind of get this feeling from you that you're like, you appreciate all of the high-tech-ness, but you kind of want the user experience to kind of be simple, kind of like what you said with the fitness stuff. Do all of the maths and science, you know, to let me know, to work out how much exercising I've been doing, but just say, listen, mate, get up and go for a run, or go for a walk, or lift some weights. Is that kind of your take on tech?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I'm in a lucky position where we get to try a whole bunch of stuff, right? And you get some stuff that's trying to take control of your life, or it's trying to be too clever and stuff like this. And it's exciting for like the first week. You're like, oh my God, this thing's just like doing, and then you're just like, oh, stop nagging me because you're giving me this alert, or you're telling me to do this. Or you're just like, it's overcomplicated. I like the stuff that solves the basic problem and then lets you get on with doing whatever you need to do, right?
Yeah, man, I'm very much a believer of that. Like, I'm not a big wearable person.
Yeah,
so,
no one is really.
Yeah. Like I felt like when I first said it, I felt like I was saying something a little bit like, you know, a bit naughty. But like I'm not. I kind of feel like the less I've got on me, the happier I am, if that makes sense.
And so many things to charge. Like, there's nothing worse than when you're just like, I want to go for a workout. Hang on, got to charge my headphones, got to charge my wearable, obviously, got to charge my phone, and you know, whatever this other thing. It becomes like a sort of ordeal.
Yeah, I mean, you must have so many chargers in your house. You must have extension lead after extension lead after extension lead for all the stuff that you're trying out.
Again, you want to ask my better half about that. We got this sort of permanent argument about cables. They're like rats. Everywhere you look in my apartment, there's just kind of some USB cable hanging out.
Wicked. Well, I know that you talk about everything, like we said, from fitness to DJ and music tech and drones and stuff. What have you been speaking about recently on Engadget that you want to share with us that we can point the listener in the direction of?
Oh, I mean, that's a good one, right? So I do a lot of drone stuff. I'm all into this FPV. I don't know if you've ever had a go on that. So first person view flying, you know, where you put on the video goggles, it gets a video feed from the drone, and then you fly that thing around, and it's kind of like you're inside the drone flying that thing. And I'm kind of really into that at the moment, just because, I don't know, it's like, it's something that takes you away for a moment, and you really do kind of feel a bit like you're flying, you know, and who doesn't want that, right?
That sounds wicked.
So,
yeah.
So no, I was just going to say there's an extension of that. So you got drone racing, everyone knows about that. It's kind of like a bunch of dudes just sort of zipping around the course and stuff, but there's like a subculture within drones called, not really a subculture, I guess, but they call it freestyle, and it's kind of, I suppose it's a bit like if drone racing is downhill longboarding, then freestyle is like street skating. It's much more, they kind of go to disused buildings and zip around it and do like these crazy dives and backflips and threading the needle where they kind of go through like little open windows and shit like that. It's something you should definitely worth checking out on YouTube. There's some pretty insane videos. And when you've got the goggles on, that kind of stuff is really intense.
Can you get motion sickness doing that? Does it feel a bit weird?
You definitely. It does. I was at this CES show I was telling you about, and they do like a drone show off in the desert somewhere in Las Vegas, and they had a pro pilot there, and they said, oh, we'll give you the goggles, so you both got the goggles on, but he's going to fly. And he was doing all this stuff, and like there's this video of me, and I can feel my knees going, because like it's just literally going left and right and do a backflip or something, and you kind of know where you are, but I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Wow, man. Wow, that sounds crazy. I want to go and check it out. I mean, I wouldn't mind putting a few rocket launchers or flamethrowers or machine guns on the drones and seeing a little drone wars, because I was a big fan of Robot Wars, the UK show, way back in the day. And I think we should do it with drones.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if it's not a thing already, then it's going to be for sure. I mean, all it takes is just get a drone race and add a few little accessories. Boom, you've got it, right?
Yeah, man, definitely. It's probably on the underground. It's probably like Fight Club right now. Sorry, you were saying?
It's just, you just reminded me, actually. There's some officially branded Star Wars drones. Don't know if you ever saw them. They came out just in the last couple of weeks, and they actually do something a bit like that. So you can fly this sort of mini TIE fighter around, and they've got like infrared or something like this, so you can actually blast your buddies out of the air with these drones as you kind of fly them around.
That sounds wicked. Yeah, I'll make sure I check that out. I think in fact I have seen them. Yeah, so it's kind of like you shoot each other out of the air, but you don't actually smash up your drones. That sounds pretty cool, man.
Yes, sir.
Wicked. So 2017, we're right at the start of the year. I've got to ask you, what do you think is going to be something that we should be on the lookout for in 2017, and what's going to be big in the gadget and tech world?
So I think, we already sort of touched on it a little bit, but I think artificial intelligence is kind of going to creep into a lot of everything this year. So if you got your iPhone, you speak with Siri, or if you got your Android, you speak to Google's assistant, and they were pretty like dumb for a little while, like what's the weather, and it'll tell you what the weather is, right?
Yeah.
But they're going to get like creepy clever slowly, and this year is going to be, I think, when we're going to see a lot more of that. So it won't just be in your phone, it'll be in your, I don't know, maybe your smartwatch or your smart home. You'll just start being able to talk to it a little bit more normally and ask it to do things. It'll sort of understand it, and that'll become like a new normal, like how voice control used to be shit and it never would work.
Yeah.
But now it kind of works pretty good, and it kind of freaks you out. Well, I think we're going to see, like, things are just going to get a little bit creepy clever.
Okay. And how about that and home automation and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, all that stuff. We're already seeing it, like, with it in cars. You're driving home and you can be like, hey, Amazon, can you put my oven on? And then, like, you pull into your driveway and you get out and your oven's already cooking up some toast or whatever. So I think those things feel a bit silly now, but they're going to start feeling really useful pretty soon.
Cool. Look forward to seeing all of that. Is there any tech that you aren't a fan of? Because you're allowed to not like some of it.
I guess it's like I've got a lot of colleagues that are like well into their video games and stuff, but all these new games, I'm like a retro gamer. Do you know what I mean? Like these new games, I just get sort of a bit lost. It's like, if you put me in like a open world game, I'm just going to spend all day just walking around the perimeter to see how far I can go in this game, because I'm convinced there's going to be some sort of secret passageway or extra level or something like this, because I come from the Mario days where you just hold down for 3 seconds and then you're in this secret world or whatever. So I get a little bit lost with the video games, much to the amusement of some of my colleagues and stuff. So I really want to love it, but it's just, I just get distracted and I just don't end up playing the game, and I just end up sort of trying to figure it all out. It's a bit too much for me.
Wicked. So you're more of a classic Street Fighter man then, yeah?
I'm Atari Lynx all the way, and all my colleagues are going to groan that I've just mentioned that, because I'm a bit of an obsessive collector. I've got like 9 Atari Lynx consoles at home, and I've got like every game they ever did, and so yeah, I'm just sort of stuck in somewhere around 1991, and I never moved on. That
is a classic bit of, just because some of our listeners might not even been born when that was out, but we're talking about
this is shocking.
This is when games used to be, just so you know, this is when games used to be about things that were not very exciting, but because it was in a computer game, they were like Paperboy, doing a paper round. Right. That was like a classic game. Yeah.
Only in the 90s could you make your Saturday job into a video game that would sell millions of copies.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're going to make sort of Argos Simulator or sort of like Burger King game these days. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't really cut it.
Giving bad customer service to people because you don't really want to be there because you're tired because you've been out on a Friday drinking game. I wouldn't mind that, actually. So what tech, is there any tech that you really, apart from your smartphone, because that is the easy answer, is there anything you can't really live without, James?
I can't really live without. I've got I guess I sort of loosely criticised headphones the other day, but I've kind of become a bit of an advocate of Bluetooth headphones recently, and I know they've got a bit of a dirty name because people think they've got bad audio and stuff like this. I can't be dealing with cables anymore. Do you know what I mean? Once you've tried the joy of wire-free music, you can walk around your house. So I'm a bit of an addict to those things. So I always keep a pair. I've got a couple stashed around that are always sort of half charged or whatever. And yeah, I'm wireless headphones all the way. Have you got a preference at the moment? Yeah. Right now, I'm wearing some Bang & Olufsen or whatever their other brand is, BO Play H9s. They're pretty sweet. I also got the Braggy Dash. They're pretty smart if I want to go in-ear buds. And I had another pair turn up today. They just turned up on my desk from a company called Arato. So I'm going to check those out after the show.
Look forward to seeing the write-up on Engadget. I mean, we've messed with the Braggy Dashes here. We're kind of big fans of them because they managed to pack a lot of tech into those little headphones and kind of it works, doesn't it? Really,
right?
Like,
I mean, this crazy what they've done, like to get them into those little buds.
Yeah.
A little bit too much, almost in a way. The second version, the headphone. If you want like something a bit more practical, those are pretty slick, and they work a little bit better when it comes to just the music and all the essentials. Do you know what I mean?
Wicked. So you're a headphone man. That's what you can't live without. Also, this show's called How to Kill an Hour. So before I let you go, Mr. James Trew, I just wanted to know, how do you like to kill some time when you get a bit of spare time?
Well, I mean, I already told you. Like, I was going to save the Atari links for this section because that's kind of. Right. So if I'm not linking it up, like there are new games coming this year. Serious believe this is a big year for the Atari links. So I'm gonna have to give that another shout out. Other than that, I'll be making some hardstyle. That's probably what I'm going to be doing.
Oh, wicked! Look forward to that, man. Look forward to that.
I wouldn't.
Also, you know your accent in the US. Do people know? Do people know that you're actually from Bristol? Like, can they work out that you're from a different part of the UK to, like, say, people from Wales or Birmingham or London, or where do they think you're from with your accent?
And I don't know. Like I say, I mean, maybe you can tell me how strong my accent is, but I don't think I'm giving it all to Bristol. Do you know what I mean? So I've got to be fair to them. I don't think they really pick it up. I think people just have a guess at London. And then sort of leave it with that. So I kind of get away with it. They don't really know where I'm from.
Hey, you British? Hey, you're one of those British people. We like you. You're all right. Cool. Yeah.
It's all fun. It soon wears off.
Fair enough. All right, James. Well, I just want to say on behalf of myself and the How to Kill an Hour guys and the listener, thanks very much for just popping on the show, man. And where can we find you on social media? Because you're a pretty funny tweeter, actually.
You reckon?
Yeah.
So I kind of mostly camp out on Twitter, and my handles it's Trew, but it's ITSTREW, which is my last name. So it's Trew on Twitter.
Yeah, wicked. And he's actually got a picture of an Atari Lynx game. Were you messing with Flappy Bird on the Atari Lynx?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, someone made a version of it just recently. So we're a little bit behind the times, but we're getting there.
Yeah, he's getting there. Yeah, merging an amalgamation of the noughties and whatever and the 90s. Wicked. All right, well, thank you very much, Mr. James Trew. There's plenty of ways to kill some time out there. I've been Marcus Bronzy alongside Mr. James Trew, all the way from Oakland, right? No, sorry, San Francisco. Yes. Yeah, Oakland, right? Is that right?
Both. I live in one, work in the other.
Live in one, work in the other. Wicked. Well, thank you very much, man. And you know what? It'd be great if you could pop on the show another time. Maybe when there's a few of the lads in the studio as well. It'd be great to have another chat with you about tech and gadgets and all sorts. If that's all right with you,
Absolutely, mate. Anytime. Yeah, it'd be a pleasure.
All right, wicked. You have a good one. Thank you.
All right, take care.